go, CB.
I'm guessing the majority of you are unaware that you're looking at a black man. Relax, get out alone. You see, in 1924, the state of Virginia passed legislation to implement the Racial Integrity Act, which defined a person of color as an individual with even one drop of African blood flowing through their veins. And somewhere along the line, my family tree splintered into spectrums, blurring the lines of color. If I had been alive in 1924, I would have been subject to the same persecution, denied the right to vote, much like many of my closest friends' ancestors. Yet more than 80 years later, we still have tension in our communities, because I wasn't born in 1924. I was born in 1978 in Canton, Ohio. I grew up in the suburbs with sidewalks and little kids playing hopscotch. And no, I don't pretend to know what it's like to sit down for an interview with no choice but to outperform my peers because of the color of my skin. I know what it's like to enter a room full of people who do not share my most obvious physical attributes and be judged before I've had the opportunity to speak. They say only God has the right to judge. But we were created in His image and have been confined by our preconceptions. Well, it's time to unshackle your thoughts. I'm still waiting for the day when I receive my census in the mail and under race can check off the box marked human. For a species which has achieved such astounding technological advancements over the past century, our evolution as civilized human beings has been painfully slow. We are all citizens of this earth. And the only right we truly have is the right to remain silent. Well, consider that right officially waived. Boy Scouts may have taught you how to perfect the world's best bow line, but you can't tie a noose around righteousness, and you can't put a muzzle on this movement. In 1924, ignorance became law. But this nation is a melting pot. When it comes right down to it, we're all just a bunch of mutts. Come on, boy. A nation of half-breeds clinging desperately to our separation as if segregation's the path to salvation. Ignorance is dying a slow, slow death. When it would be better served to be euthanized, cultural differences are a byproduct of where and how you were raised, no relation to the color of your skin. I look around and only see similarities. Yet every application I complete asks for my GMI. No, not government monitoring information. More like the greatest example of man's ignorance. It's sickening to see politicians and so-called activists going to such great lengths to keep this hatred on life support and not. It's a shame. We, the people, are ultimately the only ones with the power to change this land. I've come to you today to proclaim it's time to put a plug on ignorance.
There comes a time in every man's life when he's been pushed to his limits. He becomes fed up with gimmicks. Reach my breaking point, something's got to give. Never gonna get the best of me, only I control my destiny. Never gonna get the best of me, only I control my destiny. Never gonna get the best of me, only I control my destiny. Never gonna get the best of me, only I control my destiny.